Welcome to Shark Week on Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review The Reef. Pray that you drown first.
Directed by Andrew Traucki, starring Damian Walshe-Howling, Gyton Grantley, Adrienne Pickering, Zoe Naylor, and Kieran Darcy Smith. The Reef is an Australian film that has a group of people getting stranded when they just want to go snorkeling for an afternoon. Unfortunately, the ship capsizes and the crew is hunted down by a great white shark. So what do we like?
The tension in this film was well built because they're out in the open water and majority of the film is just the four of them swimming to this island that they think is 12 miles away. You don't know what's underneath them, you don't know what's behind, you don't even know if the island's actually there. So the whole time you're sitting here wondering who's gonna attack, are they gonna make it to the island, and what's gonna happen.
This was honestly one of the most frightening films I've ever seen. I was sitting there cringing almost the whole time because you don't know what to expect. Even when you have the crew put on goggles and look in the water, it's a POV shot and you're just looking into an abyss. There could be anything out there, and that is what's so scary about this film and what makes me terrified of open water in general. Couple that tension with the pure exhaustion that these people must be facing, having just like swimming mindlessly to no end for what seems like a week. I can't imagine. I can't tread water for half an hour, let alone swim for miles and miles and miles. It just felt too real. And in saying that, this was actually based on true events, which is even more frightening. This kind of stuff does happen. What's also great about this film that makes it that much more authentic is the fact that they use real sharks. There's no cheesy CGI sharks swimming through the water. There aren't cheesy kills. This is real footage of real sharks swimming around real people. The cinematography and the production value, just like every Australian film that we've ever seen, is absolutely top notch. Not only when people are on land, but in the water. You have these breathtaking shots of coral reefs and fish. So that's a huge plus with having a higher budget when it comes to making a shark movie.
I enjoyed the acting in this film. I thought each character played what their characteristics were. Luke, our protagonist, was calm and collective throughout the entire film. He was like the one who was like, okay, I gotta make sure that everyone else is okay. Yeah, there's a shark 5 feet in front of me right now, but I've got 3 of my mates here that I need to make sure they don't freak out and draw the shark's attention.
Unfortunately, that is never the case, because anytime that Luke informs anyone that there's a shark 5 feet in front of them, they lose their shit and start flapping about. And of course, the shark has to get just a little bit closer. And, you know, rightfully so. I would be panicking like crazy.
I'd be trying my hardest to like sit on the board. Like they were like only resting one arm on their little piece. I'd be getting as much of my body on there.
You can try, you're just gonna flip over, it happens.
You gotta balance on your belly.
Now let's talk about our dislikes. I think my biggest issue with this movie was the fact that they did repeat certain situations. I mean, not a lot happens in this movie, and I don't expect a lot to happen in this movie because it's just a bunch of people stuck in open water. But there are a couple shark attacks, and they almost play out identically to each other. And if our characters approach a little piece of reef to just kind of get their bearings, that scene happens more than once. So there's just a lot of like repetitive nature, and I don't know if that was intended or not. Probably just to break things up a little bit, because just looking at people floating around for a while, yeah, it could get boring. However, they were just like carbon copied scenes almost.
Yeah, there's only so many times I can see someone lose the floating board and another person looking in the distance and looking back at like their friends and be like, well, I gotta go get it.
That's the big issue that happens when you make these kind of movies, because they almost have to be one-dimensional in a sense.
It's a little too real in the sense that some people may find the pacing to be slow and boring.
In saying that, even just like looking at the screen, it's just blue water and blue skies. So a lot of the movie looks the same. Like you can fast forward 20 minutes if you want, and you're probably not gonna skip a beat. It's gonna look exactly the same. I'm not knocking the film for that at all, but I can see how some people might find it boring.
They focused so much on the day that I thought it would have been cooler to see what it would have been like for them, like struggling in the darkness. It would have been harder to shoot, yes, but they fell asleep too easily and just woke up the next day.
Right before these people fall asleep, they're being circled by a shark, and then it just like fades to black and they wake up and there's a shark. So it's like, no. I'm sure that shark may have attacked somebody in the middle of the night, but you guys successfully rested on your little boogie boards.
Yeah. Somebody just rolled a crit on their like on
your
their night check.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. The Reef was one of the most unnerving shark movies that I've ever seen. It genuinely had me frightened from beginning to end, and I just had this knot in my stomach anytime that anyone is looking anywhere. This was well shot, well acted, and the characters were believable. There was no decision that was made in this movie that I felt was the wrong decision. I feel everybody did a great job, and a +1 for using real sharks instead of CGI. So I'm gonna give this 4 people dressed in wetsuits that look exactly like seals waiting to be gobbled up by sharks out of 5.
The Reef is definitely a film that has great suspense from beginning to end. It did a great job building tension, of having 4 characters trapped in the open water and not knowing what is around them, not knowing whether it's a shark, whether it's another fish, or if it's nothing at all. It's cool because you're getting involved with what is happening and you're feeling the tension that they have, the nervous twitch of just wanting to keep moving forward, but you can't because you don't know what's in front of you. The acting was great and the decisions they made were very smart. And I feel if you're looking for a good suspense thriller, you should definitely check this out. And with that being said, I'm gonna give this 4 pretend pirates out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't, we highly recommend you check it out, and there are links in the description where you can find it on Amazon. And it's Shark Week. If you haven't noticed, we've been dropping shark movie reviews all week, and tomorrow is no different. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can be informed when we post the next video up tomorrow. Peace out.